All right. So knife. We're gonna go for knife defense. A lot of things happen when you do knife. A few years ago, I started working for the French Ministry of Defense, and I trained the French Special Forces, French President Security, in knife defense. I'm not saying that to proud. I'm saying that because I had the opportunity to have access to some Interpol statistics, international knife attack statistics, and that helped me to completely redesign my knife program. I had a traditional Filipino knife program, nothing wrong about it, but when I realized how real knife attacks in the real world happen, I decided to change everything. Basically, 71% of all knife attacks starts like this. Left leg forward, the right hand grabs, push, or grab the neck, the knife is hidden along the leg, and the stab goes to the stomach, multiple stabs. So that's 71% of all knife attacks around the world. So I've decided to make that my priority. Since in a seminar like this, we don't have time to see every possible attacks that a knife can do, I focus a lot on that attack, knowing that if you ever need to defend yourself against a knife attack, it will most probably be something like that. The second stat that I want to share with you, the average knife attacks, if the guy dies, there is 27 holes in his body. So it's no fun. It's not like I slash you and you give me your wallet and I leave. Guys who go for knife, they're crazy. And when someone is crazy, it's difficult to control. Okay? So what we're gonna do, and I think that's something we have in common with your art, we're gonna work on structure. I don't care what you do. I don't care how strong you are when you punch the bag. If you can take the other guy's structure, if you can take his center, if you can take away his balance, there's nothing you can do. Okay? You can punch like a horse when you punch the bag. Some guy, they won't feel it. Some guy will stand up, especially if they're using drugs. But if they're out of balance slightly, if you manage to take the center, if you manage to disturb the structure, then any punch will take them down. It doesn't matter if you're a small lady or a big guy. So that's what we're gonna play with. Okay? First, can I ask you to help me? So whether you're left-handed, right-handed, it doesn't matter. We're all gonna work on that 71% kind of attack. Okay? So he's gonna be exactly in this position, and he's gonna push me, grab me. This hand sometimes grabs, sometimes he's just here to understand the distance. So you have to understand that we are both under a huge amount of stress. It's life and death situation for the two of us, for the defender, but for the attacker also. When you're under attack and your life is in danger, your cognitive function goes down, all the way down to the floor, which means everything you think you'll do in a knife defense situation, you won't. Except if you have 25, 30, 40 years of training, and that becomes a second nature for you. That's why train hard, train often, and train for a long time. 5 years of martial arts will get you nowhere if your life is in danger, nowhere. 10 years is kindergarten. 25 years, you start college. And you may have a chance to understand what self-defense and martial arts is all about. So it's very important to know that our ability to think is almost zero when our life is in danger. So I'm here, okay? He's coming with a knife, and in my head, I'm training at the dojo, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna take his hand, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna grab him, and he's gonna change hand, and if you change hand, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. Well, he's not gonna change hand. Even if we're here, in the middle of the fight, in training, he could. But in reality, statistics tells us that 0.01% of attacker change hand, even if they need it. Why? Because they can't think as well as I can think. Remember, when you're under stress, your cognitive functions are almost zero. Your ability to access what you know intellectually is zero, nothing, 0.01%. Okay? So what I want to do, I want to use as little of my brain as possible. So my first reflex is going to come to me, keep pushing me, apply forward pressure, and keep stabbing, keep stabbing, keep stabbing. I'm going to put a wall between the blade and my body. That's my first reflex, okay? Here, I'm gonna put a wall. Keep coming, okay? Two things are gonna happen here. Number one, he won't realize that he's being blocked for a few seconds because, again, he doesn't have the ability to think clearly, just like me. So it's gonna take a few seconds, average 5 seconds for him to realize that I'm blocking him. He doesn't really know, he just goes crazy, he's blind, he doesn't see anything. It's gonna take him 5 seconds average to realize that I'm blocking him and he didn't touch me. So during those 5 seconds, I know he's gonna do the same thing. So I have an opportunity. That's the first thing you want to know. The second thing is, this is not a block. Because here, I'm using several joints. Okay, it's a polyarticular movement. It's too complex. It's gonna take too much of the little brain power that I have at that moment. I need to save that brain power. I have maybe 1% of my personal knowledge, intelligence, intellect, whatever you want to call it. I have 1% that I can access in this situation. If I use it to coordinate this joint, this joint, this joint, to be at the same speed as him and to be precise to make sure I never miss him, if I use that, I have nothing left. Nothing left to elaborate a strategy. Nothing left to survive. All my brain power, the little that I have, will be here, making sure I don't miss it, making sure I don't block the blade, making sure everything is aligned. So I don't want that. I don't want you to move your arm at all. I just want you to create a wall and you don't have to think about it anymore for 5 seconds. Come on, Kim. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Yes, that's all I want you to do. So basically, this is Mexico, this is the United States, and this is Trump. That's a wall. You have a nice, strong wall, and you're not moving it. The wall is going nowhere. Okay? Go. Because you still have tomorrow and the day after that. And I promise you, you're gonna be all black and blue and pink and yellow. It's gonna hurt. So don't go like a maniac for now. We're gonna have few moments with high intensity, so you can feel it, you can decide for yourself if you think that will help you in a real situation, or as close as we can. But don't go 100% all the time, okay? So the first thing I want you to do is to forget that wall, to build it and forget it. Grab me, push me, yes, that's it, okay? This hand, don't worry about it for now. What I want is this, my turn. So you just make contact, don't worry about this hand, I'll tell you what to do with it later. Yep. Just create your wall, and what I'm doing is this. I'm really trying to get him, okay, that's it, only that. Don't go too hard for now, okay? One more round.